You can see here is the seam there and the seam there. So they believe that this was the deck timber. It tested for 71% carbon, which means it was wood at some stage. Now, can this happen in our day? This is a well in a little wheel in Australia, and under the right conditions, wood will become petrified in a short period of time. Here they found, this is part of an antler. And they found remains of toilet. They call it coprolites. So these are some of the samples that they found from their research. Now they found large specimen of slag used as ballast. Now slag, okay, is a byproduct from when you make alloys. And they found that there was quite a large number of this ballast, and we're told that ships need ballast to keep it stable in waters. And here in Turkey you find this place called Nohum Gemisi, which means Noah's Ark. And here they believe is the remains of Noah's Ark. In 1989 the Turkish government opened a visitor centre at the site, and they officially recognised this as a national park and that this is Noah's Ark. In more recent times though, they kind of shine away a little bit. For what reason I'm not sure. But you know, many people like to spend money. They like to come to Turkey, let's do an expedition, spend lots of money. So they're quite happy to have lots of money coming into Turkey, I guess. But officially they've recognised this as a national park, and this is Noah's Ark. Nearby the ship, or what they think is a ship, they found giant anchor stones. And they found a number of these in a straight line, indicating the thing that as Noah came into the mountains of Ararat, that he dropped these anchor stones. These anchor stones were to stabilize the boat in the rough waters, and they found a straight line of these anchor stones. And they found on these anchor stones 8 crosses on them, which they believe that people in the past recognized that this was something special connected with Noah's Ark, and they put 8 crosses signifying that they believe that this was connected to Noah's Ark. They also found that the holes weren't straight holes. One side of the hole was larger than the other, and the way they designed this is so that a rope can go through, the knot will swell up to make it more secure. So you put the knot in, and as the water swells it, it gets locked into position. So this is how they think it would have been put at the time of Noah. These are what are called drogue stones. They found these, obviously on a small scale. For a large boat you would need larger ones. And they think they used these to stabilize the boat in the rough waters. And they found a number of these around. The Bible also tells us that it was 3 stories high. Now the way they found the boat, they found it kind of like all crushed in. So that's probably how it would have looked, but this is how it looks today, kind of all caved in. So based on the evidence to date, this is what they think the boat could have looked like. The Turkish government officially recognizes this site as Noah's Ark. And you have daily tours from the nearby town to visit Noah's Ark. And they find it on all the tourist brochures. Now, further up, where they found this site, they found this relief stone. Okay, it's not very clear what it shows, but this is what they found. This relief stone, it shows like a little ridge of mountains. It shows a mountain there. They showed the boat with 8 people, and they find 2 ravens. So when you compare it, you see the ridge of mountains there. But according to this, the boat was higher up. And when they went to examine up higher up, they found that there was a little shape in the ground. And they found loads of unusual rock which had high amounts of metal in it. And they believe that the boat landed here, and with the volcano and the lava flow, it pushed the boat further down, and it hit against a little pierced rock, and it lodged there. So this is what they think happened. The boat came down, it impelled against this rock, got stuck there, and then got covered over with the mud flow. Now they've tested this rock here, and it is different to this rock here. It is also different to this rock here. So they found that within this perimeter, it is definitely different to that and to outside. They decided to drill a hole and see what they could find. They found some items here, coprolites, which is petrified toilets, and they found part of an ampler there. They found some fur and some hair, which is unusual. Here you can see on Google Earth what it looks like. So it's official. These are the remains of Noah's Ark. But that's something that you have to make up your own mind on the evidence that is presented. So let's look at the top points then to consider. It is in the shape of a boat with a pointed bow and a rounded stern. Now some people think it's a lava formation, but anyone who understands physics or engineering will know that if you have an object and it's flowing down, okay, that the top end would have a wider curve, yeah, and the bottom end would have a pointed. But this is the reverse. They found that the top end is pointed and the bottom end is rounded, which then defies thermodynamics. So it cannot be a natural lava formation. The exact length, as noted in biblical description, is 515 feet or 300 Egyptian cubits. It rests on a mountain in eastern Turkey, matching the biblical account. The ark rested upon the mountains of Ararat. It contains petrified wood, as proven by lab analysis. It contains high-tech metal alloy fittings, as proven by separate lab analysis, paid for by Ron White and other people, including Kevin Fisher. They found aluminium metal and titanium metal was found in the fittings, which are man-made alloys. They found vertical rib timbers on its sides, comprising the skeletal superstructure of a boat. Regular patterns of horizontal and vertical deck support beams are also seen on the deck of the ark. And the occupied ancient village at the ark site, 6,500 feet, elevation matching Flavius Josephus' statement, its remains are shown there by the inhabitants to this day. Dr. Bill Shea, archaeologist, found an ancient pottery within 20 yards of the ark, which has a carving on it that depicts a bird, a fish, and a man with a hammer wearing a headdress that has the name Noah on it. In ancient times, these items were created by the locals in the village to sell to visitors of the ark, and the ark was a tourist attraction in ancient times and today. It's recognized by the Turkish government as Noah's Ark's national park and a national treasure. An official notice of its discovery appeared in the largest Turkish paper in 1987. And visitor centre built by the government to accommodate tourists further confirms the importance of the site. And huge anchor stones were found near the ark, and the village Kazan 15 miles away, which hung off the rear of the ark to steady its ride, means the village of 8. The ark rests upon Kudi, or I think it's Kudi, which is translated as Doomsday Mountain. Dr. Salih Baraktartan of Araturk University stated, "It is a man-made structure, and for sure it's Noah's Ark." The same article also states the site is immediately below the mountain of Al-Judi, named in the Quran as the resting place of the ark. Radar scans show a regular pattern of timbers inside the ark formation, revealing keels, keelstones, gunnels, bulkheads, animal chambers, ramp system, door in the right front, 2 large barrels in the front, and an open center area for airflow to all the levels. So it's for you to decide whether this is indeed Noah's Ark. This man here says, "Merry Christmas from Noah's Ark Visitor Center." And it says in Luke 2:10-11, "I bring you good news of great joy for everyone. The Savior, yes, the Messiah, the Lord, has been born." So what's the significance for us today then? The cross was made from wood.